Good morning, girls. Excuse me. It is May 6th today. I am driving to work. I left home and very quickly, Evie, you didn't sleep too well last night, and you were kind of throwing a fit with Mom trying to feed you milk. And so, just if you're tired, you won't eat or anything, then typically, like, what we'll do is we'll lay you down in your crib and try to let you cry it out a little bit. Then we'll check up on you. 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, and then just kind of see how you're doing, and then try to feed you again if we can. But for whatever reason today, you're just not having it. And not every day is like that, but for whatever reason today is kind of like that. It is overcast, and we do got a big storm coming. And I have noticed that you girls tend to be a little bit on the fritz whenever that happens. I've never actually sat and looked into that, so I wonder if there is something to that. But then Chi-Chi, you got this thing with closing doors now. So just like randomly, kind of like just, we're working on stuff. You're closing all the doors in the house. And, Mom goes into the bedroom to get the dog bowl and the dog cage to fill it with water. She comes back with, trying to hold it with two hands, and all the doors are closed in between. And, it's just one of those things, it doesn't help. At the same time, you're kind of in a phase where ideas pop into your head and you don't have much of a filter. You're kind of just sold on the idea, like, wow, I can close doors. This is amazing. And part of me is like, yeah, I'm really happy for you. And at the same time, a little annoyed because, I'm not so bothered by it, but Mom trying to, keep the house in order, it kind of gets in the way of her doing her thing, and that bothers me. But at the same time, there's nothing you can do about it. So, I try not to, be hard on you or anything. I tried to just, let you know, hey, it's great you can close doors. You need to stop closing the doors so Mom can do her thing. So it was a rough start for Mama this morning, just kind of with all the things going on. So I gave her a big hug and prayed with her, asking, God to give her strength, spirit to be on her, give her peace, and then just kind of help get the morning together. It's good to pray for people, and your friends, family. I think it's kind of a combination of, you bring these prayers to God, but, you're also open to help and try to improve the situation if it's something within your means. This is for, this is open to, it's good to have that disposition for as many people as possible. And obviously, there are people that, aren't going to be able to do that for, whether you just don't know them or, or they're just, don't want your help. But, it's always good to be looking for ways to uplift people like that and just let them know that you care for them and that you're looking for ways to help them and serve them. Yeah. I talked to Mama briefly, and I was like, well, what can we do better? Is there something, and it was just one of those things. She's like, there's not much you can do. Although I did catch a little hint that, Evie, we need to, like, right before 8, just like go in the sleep room and just try to get as much milk in you as possible. So there's always little fine tunings. You can always be looking for little ways to help each other out and improve too. And sometimes there isn't. Sometimes you really have to grind to find some way to improve, but um, yeah, it's part of it sometimes. I think about like, the next phase of work, and right now it feels a little bit like a grind. I mean, there's definitely a number of things like in the last 5 years that I could have been doing, to try to improve as a chiropractor, try to do as a chiropractor, and I show up to get to help people every day. I'm looking for ways to try to help and improve. And yeah, I mean, retrospect, there are new ways I probably could have done things better and this and that. And uh, but I mean, it's just too. It's like, what would I have done different? Like with just not knowing what direction to go or what to do. A lot of the times, with the way I think, sometimes it feels like I'm kind of isolated, and I don't want to be. But it's just, when I have questions, I do ask them. Oftentimes, nobody can give me a clear answer to something, and so I try to wrestle with the things. I find answers to the things, and there's a lot of things I found answers to where you like, yeah, that makes sense. I can do that, but in the wrestling of it, got on the same page with people, and other people are still just kind of like trying to take steps forward and advance in other ways. And I guess it just the theme of my life seems like I'm always 10 years behind. A lot of my friends got married in their early 20s and mid 20s. I didn't marry your mom until I was 35. A lot of my friends, kind of picked career paths, and kind of got started with work and everything. Again, late teens, early 20s. Your old man didn't become a chiropractor until he was 27. No, that's not right. No, I was 30 years old when I became a chiropractor. And so it was just lots of like intermediate work leading up to that. A lot of friends and whatnot, graduated, college, moved on in that 4-year span. Some people didn't go to college at all and just kind of went straight into a career. And your old man, went to college but couldn't decide on what to do. I've learned a lot from all that, and I can talk more on that later. I guess to bring all that up, is just kind of I'm trying to figure out how to tie all this together. The sum of it is just like, you show up every day and you give your best, and you don't always do things in the best way. There's always room to grow. There's always room to learn, and sometimes life can feel like a grind because you're not really sure what to do. But hang in there. Good things come. I may be late to the game, but I'm not out for the count. So we keep on going. We keep on doing our best, and we trust that God is going to get us to where we need to be. And who knows? Maybe there is something to all this madness, and thinking differently, and all this. I don't know what that is or what that looks like, but just gotta, like I said, keep showing up, keep giving your best, and yeah. Anyway, that was a long one. Sorry. I love you, girls. Wherever you are in life, I hope you're well, and I hope it's a wonderful day for you.